And now it's time to bring onto the stage the technology team. The technology team have been working very hard on making sure to discuss the ever-changing world of technology and what we as a society can do to adapt to it. With that being said, I'd like to bring onto the stage the speaker of the technology team, Rishit Chatterjee.
Ladies and gentlemen, the world is different. That may perhaps be the most accurate statement made about the condition of the world at any given time, because it becomes more different with every passing second. The changes are subtle, but they are there. The world when I begin saying this speech may seem the same as when I finish saying this speech, but in that short span of time, we've already taken several steps towards the future. But stark differences are not so apparent in the short time that I'm focusing on right now. So join me on a little journey to the height of a previous era, the Industrial Revolution. What was the brand new in thing, so to speak? Steam engines, newly available in trains, boats, and ships, water-powered spinning and weaving technologies like the spinning jenny, which on their own aren't very important, but lend credence to this concept of automation, something that seemed so impossibly innovative at the time. I mean, at the time we were using electricity, we were harnessing the fury of God to power our machines. It seemed as if the audacity and creativity of human innovation would have no end, would have no further increase in technological prowess. And yet we shift back to now and see a stunning change. When electricity was the black gold of the world and light bulbs were the most impressive innovations, and contrast that to now, when the same things are relegated to novices of electronics. I mean, anyone with an Arduino kit can turn a light bulb on and off. And powering anything by steam might be the hobby of a particularly dedicated historian, but that's besides the point. What caused this shift, ladies and gentlemen? At what time and what thought process did we decide to shift to the technological superiority we've adopted today? I'll give you a moment to think about it. This is your moment to think about it. That was your moment to think about it. You've all had some answers in your head, or some inkling of an answer, or some thought process that you've started on to lead to some answer that's actually probably going to be correct. All of you are correct from some respect, but I can't extract everybody's answer in this one speech, and to assume one single answer would be a disservice to everyone else's answer. Therefore, I'm going to take everyone's answer under a single umbrella blanket statement. Circumstances in the present made people realize that their imaginations would lead them to the future. After the world wars that jump-started the information era, the imagination and creativity of human innovation extended beyond conventional ideas and means. We realized the future isn't some long-awaited stage that will come into existence at the end of our lives or even after we die. It's being created right here and right now. And the future is merely the stage of time we attribute to achieve sufficient technological progress to alter our lives significantly. For example, even when we decided that steamboats and steam engines might be the in thing, there was definitely scope to do more. When we realized that the future isn't to be waited for, it's to be created, that, ladies and gentlemen, is when technology began reaching the apex as it does today. Today, we've moved beyond anything someone from 100 years ago could even begin to comprehend. Today, the issue isn't what we can make, because our past as a race has shown us that we can do anything, make anything. We've experienced hardship and war that resulted out of a culmination of fear from too much military buildup. After seeing how much anarchy could happen, we used it as a catalyst to jumpstart innovation, to improve our own lives. After seeing how bad life could be, we used it as motivation to jumpstart development in every single sector. And we did. We started developing every sector until we tackled the beating heart of the human race: health. We decided that bad health and poor conditions, they're unacceptable for our supreme species. No one should be living in fear of having their life cut short so quickly. And so we decided to adapt our technology for use in the medical sector. We looked the Grim Reaper straight in the face, spat in his eyes, and snapped his scythe in half with the complete abandonment of the medical industry. Technology allowed us to keep failed hearts beating and dying livers passing. And yet, this power to preserve life, to prolong life, gave us this superiority, this arrogance to believe that we could create life of our own imagining. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you've heard of this concept of artificial intelligence. It's something that resulted out of humanity's collective God complex. We've advanced beyond solving fundamental problems in living and addressing some things as impossible. Nothing is impossible anymore, ladies and gentlemen. We merely haven't developed the technology to implement our proposed solutions to it yet. AI? We've only reached low-level AI sentience. Alexa, Siri, Google, Cortana, whatever virtual assistants that we have and assume to be artificial intelligence are at best virtual intelligences. And yet we still assume that we will end up creating a fully autonomous, sentient artificial intelligence. The question about such AIs isn't, can we do it? Because we're humans, we can do anything. Is it ethical to put them in a position of keeping our society running? We've assumed that they will take low-level employment and push low-income people out of life and service. We've begun to wonder, are they truly safe to employ in certain sectors? Will their automated intelligences, something that we will code to perfectly mimic sentience, be truly beneficial in the long run? We've seen disappointing results of bias, of discrimination in algorithms, particularly in medical informatics, as well as in AI-manipulated stocks and finances. Let me give you the example of Compass, Correctional Offender Management Profiling for Alternative Sanctions, a system that decides whether you're more likely to commit a crime based on your racial peers' actions and your economic peers' actions. Sounds awfully racist to me. Now, are these AIs truly beneficial to us in the long run? Or will they continue to lead to what current virtual intelligences are doing? Except this time, with sufficiently advanced AIs, these actions will be purposefully done by a pseudo-brain dictating actual instructions out of its own volition. The issue of bias and discrimination in informatics leads me to the topic of information itself. Technology has advanced to such a point that the management and creation of overt physical structures, it's approaching obsolescence. Information is a currency now. And every person in existence within the online system that encompasses everything has some manner of information to trade, to barter, to give to someone else to manage. We've created a whole sector that someone from even 30 years ago would have trouble comprehending solely based on the management and understanding of large amounts of data. Big data. With such an exponentially increasing field, since everyone generates more information every second, it raises the question of how big is too big? When will big data become too big? With the sheer volume of data being passed every second, as well as its innumerable applications, it's going to launch 1,000 questions that I'm sure the panelists will broach after me. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as I come to the conclusion of my speech, I suppose what I'm trying to say is the world of today is very different as compared to the world of yesterday. Catalysts in altering the human thought process have sharpened our focus on the future to a razor edge. Technology now knows applications in every sector and has ranged from destruction to creation. The questions we propose to it aren't, can we do it? Because, again, we're humans. We can do anything. It's should we do it? Thank you.